Have you ever wondered how sugar is made? The process is quite fascinating. Sugar, that sweet crystalline substance we often sprinkle on our morning cereal or add to our favorite cup of coffee, is an integral part of our daily lives. It's in our food, our drinks, and even some of our medicines. But where does it come from? The answer lies in two main sources: sugarcane and sugar beets. These plants, grown in different parts of the world, are the sweet beginnings of our sugar journey. Sugarcane, with its tall bamboo-like stalks, thrives in tropical and subtropical climates. Sugar beets, on the other hand, prefer the cooler temperate regions. Despite their different growing conditions, both plants are rich in sucrose, the natural sugar that gives them their sweet taste. So now that we know where sugar comes from, how is it transformed from plant to pantry staple? Let's dive into the process of sugar production, starting with the cultivation of sugarcane and sugar beets. The journey of sugar begins in the fields where sugarcane or sugar beets are grown. Each of these plants has its own unique cultivation process and preferred climate conditions, making them suitable for different regions across the globe. Sugarcane, a tropical plant, thrives in sun-drenched areas with plenty of rainfall. This plant prefers a temperature range of about 20 to 28 degrees Celsius, making it common in countries along the equator, like Brazil, India, and Thailand. The cultivation of sugarcane begins with planting cuttings from mature cane stalks. These cuttings, also called sets, are placed in furrows in the soil and covered. It's a game of patience from here on, as the sugarcane takes about 12 to 18 months to reach maturity. On the other hand, sugar beets, a cool season crop, prefer moderate climates with temperatures ranging from 15 to 19 degrees Celsius. These are primarily grown in regions like Europe, North America, and parts of Asia. Unlike sugarcane, sugar beets are grown from seeds. These tiny seeds are sown in well-prepared soil during the early spring. They germinate quickly, and in roughly 5 to 6 months they're ready for harvest. Both sugarcane and sugar beets need a good deal of care throughout their growth period. They require a well-drained, fertile soil rich in organic matter. Regular watering is crucial, but so is preventing waterlogging, which can damage the plants. Farmers also have to keep an eye out for pests and diseases that might pose a threat to their crops. So, the next time you add a spoonful of sugar to your morning coffee, remember the meticulous process that begins in the fields. These plants are nurtured and cared for over many months, all to produce those sweet, crystalline grains that we so often take for granted. After months of nurturing, the plants are ready for harvest, marking the beginning of the sugar extraction process. Harvesting is a crucial stage in sugar production where the plants are cut and prepared for extraction. Let's start with sugarcane. Once it reaches maturity, which is between 12 to 16 months after planting, the cane stalks are harvested. This process is either done by hand using sharp machetes or by mechanized harvesters in larger plantations. The harvested cane is then promptly transported to the mill to prevent any loss of sugar content. At the mill, the sugarcane is washed and cut into shreds and then crushed between large rollers to extract the sweet juice. The remaining fibrous material, known as bagasse, is often used as a biofuel for the mill's operations. It's a neat example of zero waste and sustainable practices in the sugar industry. Now, let's move on to sugar beets. Unlike sugarcane, which is a tropical plant, sugar beets thrive in temperate climates. They are harvested in autumn, roughly 6 months after planting. The beets are uprooted, usually by specialized machines, and the green tops are cut off. The harvested beets are transported to a factory where they are washed and sliced into thin strips or cassettes. These cassettes are then soaked in hot water in a process called diffusion, which extracts the sugar-rich juice. Whether it's sugarcane or sugar beets, the extracted juice is then filtered to remove any impurities. The clear juice is then concentrated by boiling it under vacuum. This process results in a thick syrup, which is further boiled to produce sugar crystals. The sugar crystals are then separated from the remaining syrup in a centrifuge, resulting in raw sugar. This raw sugar still contains some impurities, so it's not yet the white, crystalline substance we're familiar with, but we're getting closer. Once the juice is extracted, it's time to refine it into the sugar we know and love. Refining is where the magic happens, turning raw juice into granulated sugar. Our journey in the world of sugar now brings us to refining, an intricate process that transforms the raw, murky juice extracted from sugarcane or sugar beets into the gleaming white crystals that sweeten our lives. At its heart, refining involves three key steps: filtration, evaporation, and crystallization. Let's break them down. Filtration is our first stop. It's like a meticulous housekeeper, ensuring that any impurities or unnecessary elements are removed from the raw juice. The juice is treated with lime and carbon dioxide, which helps to separate and remove any impurities. The result? A clear juice ready for the next step. Next up, we have evaporation. It's all about concentration here. The clear juice is boiled under vacuum, which allows it to evaporate at a lower temperature and prevents it from caramelizing. As the water evaporates, we're left with a thick, sweet syrup. Finally, we reach crystallization. The syrup is boiled further until sugar crystals begin to form. These crystals are then spun in a centrifuge to remove any remaining liquid, leaving behind only pure, sparkling sugar. Interestingly, while the process is largely the same for both sugarcane and sugar beets, there are some subtle differences. With sugarcane, the raw juice is boiled directly to produce raw sugar, which is then refined further. On the other hand, sugar beets go through an additional diffusion process before refining, where hot water is used to extract the sugar. And there you have it, the refining process in all its glory. It's a meticulous and carefully controlled process, ensuring that the sugar you sprinkle on your morning cereal or stir into your coffee is as pure and sweet as it can be. After refining, the sugar is almost ready. There's just one final step to go. The final step in the sugar production process is packaging and distribution. After the sugar has been refined and dried, it's ready to be packaged. The packaging process is a fascinating one, as it requires precision and accuracy to ensure the right amount of sugar goes into each package. Conveyor belts transport the sugar to the packaging area, where machines measure out the appropriate amount of sugar for each package. The sugar is then sealed in the package, ready for distribution. Different types of sugar require different types of packaging. For instance, granulated sugar, the type most commonly used in baking, is typically packaged in paper bags or plastic pouches. Brown sugar, on the other hand, is often packaged in plastic bags to maintain its moisture. Powdered sugar, due to its fine texture, is usually packaged in a cardboard box with a small opening for easy pouring. Each type of packaging is designed to keep the sugar fresh and prevent any moisture from getting in. Once the sugar is packaged, it's ready for distribution. Distribution involves transporting the sugar from the factory to retail stores around the world. This process involves a complex network of transportation, including trucks, trains, and ships, depending on the distance to be covered. The distribution process also involves careful planning and coordination. The sugar must be stored and transported under the right conditions to prevent any damage. Furthermore, delivery schedules must be adhered to, ensure that stores receive their sugar supplies on time. The sugar you find in your local store has likely traveled a great distance from the sugar cane or beet field through the harvesting, extraction, refining, and packaging process, and finally, distribution. It's a complex journey that requires meticulous planning, coordination, and execution at every stage. And that's how sugar is made. From the field to your kitchen, it's quite a journey, isn't it?